Are we really doing this? As RJ Barrett has been named as a trade suitor for the Toronto Raptors for this upcoming offseason, and Masai Ujiri has already been linked to multiple stars around the league, but now other names are popping up on the trade radar that has Toronto Raptors fans turning their heads in terms of trade packages that could happen over this summer. So we're going to break down all the latest updates in regards to players that are in that RJ Barrett salary range, in that Masai Ujiri home run hitting range that have now popped up as trade candidates out there in the open market. Of course, we've already discussed LaMelo Ball, other players of that stature, and frankly, why I just adamantly disagree with this approach, specifically with the crop of names that have been thrown out there as of late. So lots of stuff to break down in this video, but before we do, we have a very exciting announcement as we have a massive March Madness bracket challenge starting over the next couple of days. We partnered with the Hot Takes app. You can download the app in the link down below. Sign up for our pool, the March Madness pool. Find the Digest pool. You see on the screen how to do it, and you could win up to $35,000 in prizes. And it's a smaller pool. There's less people playing, so there's a real chance to win. All you gotta do is scan this code, check out the link in the description, sign the app, use the code DIGEST to get some extra perks out there in the app, and then you can join in. It's completely free to sign up, and you have a chance to winning a ton of prizes. And we're excited. The community we're gonna be able to bring together, with all the Digest channels to be able to react and break down all these crazy March Madness brackets. So make sure you guys do that. Check out the link down below. But let's dive into the insanity of what's going on. Shout out to Hot Takes for partnering with us, but let's dive into it because we've seen the reports. We've seen the stuff come out. Essentially, Mike Scotto's report saying that with the Toronto Raptors envisioning a front court of Scottie Barnes and newly extended Brandon Ingram, along with former lottery pick Gradey Dick at shooting guard, where does that leave current leading scorer RJ Barrett's future? Based on conversations before the deadline, Barrett could be a trade candidate to monitor this summer. Barrett was discussed in trade talks for Ingram with New Orleans, but the Pelicans preferred expiring contracts of Bruce Brown, stretch 5 center Kelly Olynyk, who is owed $13 million next season. League sources told Hoopsite with Trey Murphy and Herb Jones already on the wings, the Pelicans didn't view Barrett as a suitable fit on their roster, and talks would have necessitated finding another team. So Masai Ujiri's already shopped RJ Barrett. We've discussed that. And Mark Stein came out with a new report saying that don't forget that a new report that we haven't discussed, but don't forget that the Raptors also drafted Jakob Poeltl, another scoring guard with the number 19th pick last June. And all of that makes Barrett someone who has to be monitored as a potential trade candidate once the offseason arrives. The modern NBA is now dominated by contract extensions and players getting traded to the teams is willing to give them one. So with surrounding players occasionally rendered casualties along the way. So RJ Barrett, according to multiple reporters, according to multiple guys, is a piece of the Raptors are going to be shopping out there the offseason. It's a very likely trade candidate. And I've been outspoken. I've been pretty, talkative on this podcast about how I do not want to see that happen, but the names that RJ Barrett's getting linked to a ton have been, these all-star caliber players. And if we're combining a package that, then depending on the player you get back, then maybe that's something I could talk myself into, the LaMelo Balls, despite all the injury stuff, the players that are going to have that extremely high ceiling, extremely high upside. But the most recent players that have fit that category in terms of players the Raptors have been linked to, don't really have me too excited. Now, the first one, if it was possible, does have some Raptors sense, because people have been sending me this stuff a ton, but apparently the Phoenix Suns could receive 4 first-round picks, a rising star, and a potential trade for Devin Booker. So 4 first-round picks and a rising star and a potential trade for Devin Booker. Sources informed the Republic of the Suns that you could probably get 4 first-round picks for Booker and a rising star in his 3rd or 4th year. So people saw that, and our Instagram's been popping right now. Definitely check that out. And it's I think it's linked down below, but check us out on Instagram. But people have been DMing me these trades for Devin Booker going to the Raptors, RJ Barrett picks going out. And again, the Raptors do have the assets to facilitate one of these packages. And of course, Devin Booker is one of the top 10 player out there in the NBA. So that's something that Devin Booker's coming back. Maybe RJ Barrett could be sacrificed, but even then, it's he plays a similar position. Devin Booker's a better 3-point shooter, made a finals and stuff. So So Devin Booker would be cool without a doubt, but I'm not getting myself excited over it because essentially news has already come out from Shams that the Suns plan to retool around Devin Booker this offseason unless they somehow make a deep playoff run with Kevin Durant. Phoenix currently has no interest in moving Booker as they hope to remain competitive long-term with their franchise player. So I don't expect Devin Booker to get traded, so we're going to write him off the list here right now, but his teammate that is named in this tweet here, Kevin Durant, is the guy that's likely to get dealt in the offseason. The Phoenix Suns will likely seek 3 first-round picks and a young player in any trade involving Kevin Durant. Sources informed the Republic the most ideal return in this regaining 3 first-round picks and a young player as a part of a multi-team deal and getting under the second apron. So this is a package that kind of makes more sense in terms of an RJ Barrett trade. Now, I think Kevin Durant is going to have some say. I think he's going to have some be able to throw his weight around in terms of the teams that he's willing to go to. So am I sold on this, a realistic trade happening where Kevin Durant is back with the Toronto Raptors and, he's a very, very statistical, still great. His numbers, 27 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 40% from the 3-point line. And he is 36 years old though. And he plays that similar position out there in the front court with Scottie Barnes, with Brown and Ingram, those guys. So it would be a little bit redundant unless you're moving Scottie Barnes to the point guard position, which, again, a lineup of Scottie Barnes, Gradey Dick, Kevin Durant, Brandon Ingram, and Jakob Poeltl would be very interesting. But personally, I don't think our Kevin Durant is likely to not that he has a no-trade clause, but he's willing to get there. But the package going to the Phoenix Suns, that's why RJ Barrett's in a Suns jersey, the thumbnail. Could KD go to the Rockets and then the Raptors get like a haul of players out there on that front and then RJ Barrett picks go back to the Phoenix Suns? Is that something that could be possible? Maybe, because again, he could be out there running mate with Devin Booker. RJ Barrett be a bit of a playmaker, run the 3, do some stuff like that, a young player, and then some picks coming back our way. Maybe that's something that's possible. I mean, depending on who the third team is. I just threw the Rockets out there as a potential destination. But there are a ton of teams that, RJ Barrett could be, sent to the Suns and then Kevin Durant sent to another squad. I think the Spurs are a team that's interested. Like, there's a bunch of permutations where that's possible because the Raptors do have the ideal potential trade package to, facilitate a trade for Kevin Durant. So if RJ Barrett's on the table, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on that market. But again, given how good RJ Barrett is, I am not sold on him getting traded. I mean, like, on it being a smart move. 22, 7, and 6 at 24 years old. What are we really doing here? He's shooting 36% on the 3-point line. He's shooting 43% on corner threes. Just giving him up for whatever doesn't make sense unless you're getting a star back. I don't think we're getting Durant. So that's something I'm not super sold on. And then the other guy that I've seen a few people, especially the Jakob Poeltl haters, coming out and saying that this is the ideal move is Domantas Sabonis. Now, Domas is a guy that is certainly a phenomenal basketball player. Do not get me wrong. Do not feel that I'm writing him off as a player. He'd be coming in and be a very important offensive force on this team. He'd be able to provide some of the passing at that center position that's, at that Marc Gasol elite level. He's averaging 20, 14, and 6 this recent season, shooting 43% of the 3-point line. Not on the craziest of high volume, but 28 years old. Domantas Sabonis would be an awesome piece to come back to the Raptors. But the thing about him right now, in terms of fit of the roster and stuff, and maybe you just go for it regardless, is, of course, we have Jakob Poeltl, who is a better defender than Domantas Sabonis. So that is one thing that you have to factor in. If you're trading for Domas, you have to, end up bolstering your team, because with Jakob Poeltl out of these lineups, then this team has looked sketchy. But basically, The Athletic has reported that league sources said Sabonis, who has 3 more seasons and a combined $140 million left on his contract, is expected to seek clarity about the organization's plans this offseason. Just as Fox want to know whose voice mattered the most on key decisions, who the team's owner might be trusting the most as counsel, Sabonis is known to have similar questions. So basically, there's rumblings that Sabonis might be on his way out. The Nets have been linked. There's been a few teams linked to Sabonis. I wouldn't be shocked if the Raptors are a team that gets thrown out there in the discussions, even though Jakob Poeltl is on this roster. But this might be a little bit of a risk because the Raptors are pretty thin out there on the defensive end, as is now at this point. So even the offensive boost you're getting from Sabonis, it might not be, the increase in price might not be worth it for the actual turns for what you lose on the defensive end. So we'll see how things shake out. I'm not sold on trading RJ Barrett. I don't think it's a smart move, but I'll keep you up to date on all the options, all the permutations that are rumbling, are going on out there in Raptors land. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Join us for our March Madness Bracket Challenge. I mean, if you spent the last 9 minutes here with me, let's do a little March Madness bracket together. Let's make that happen. Hit the link down below. Use code Digest, and we'll have some fun with this March Madness bracket. Anyways, you guys best thing as far. Subscribe to the channel. I'm signing out. Cheers.